is that you? And then he carries on and he says, قَدْ كَبُرَ سِنُّكَ. You've gotten old, you've aged. Then he says, لَا كَبُرَ سِنُّكَ. May you never grow old. May you never grow old. Obviously, he said this with love and compassion, and he was being extremely kind and gentle. But the young girl was obviously young, and perhaps she didn't understand it. So she goes back to Sulaym, under whose care she was living, and she's crying. فَرَجَعَتْ إِلَىٰ Sulaym تَبْكِي. She's crying. And Sulaym asks, مَا لَكَ يَا بُنَيَّتِي? What happened, my darling? And then she says, Rasulullah ﷺ da'at alayya, he made this supplication against me, and now I fear that I'm never going to grow old again. He says, what happened? He said that I'm not going to grow old. So to soothe her conscience, she says, you know what, I'm going to the Prophet ﷺ. فَخَرَجَتْ مُسْتَعْجِلَةً تَلُوثُ خِمَارُهَا. She quickly puts on some clothes and she runs to the Prophet ﷺ. And Nabi ﷺ sees Sulaym. He says, مَا لَكَ يَا Sulaym? What's going on? You seem like you're really flustered. You seem you're really angry and upset. And she says, this young child is saying that you made a dua against her. فَضَحِكَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. Nabi ﷺ, he smiles and he laughs. And he says, obviously, I didn't mean to say that. But just let me tell you, and let me set the record right now for everyone. إِنِّ اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ رَبِّي عَهْدًا. I have taken an ahd, a pact, a deal with my Lord, with my Allah. And what is that? أَيُّ مُؤْمِنٍ آذَيْتُهُ أَوْ سَبَبْتُهُ أَوْ شَتَمْتُهُ أَوْ جَلَدْتُهُ فَاجْعَلْهَا لَهُ قُرْبَةً وَزَكَاةً وَرَحْمَةً يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. He says that even if I have these interactions, and he starts off by saying, Allahumma inni ana bashar. Ya Allah, I'm only a human being. أغضب كما يغضب. He says, just like people get angry, I also get angry. And just like people get pleased, فَأَرْضَى, I also get pleased. But, oh my Allah, let me make a pact with you, that in my capacity as a human being, if ever I say something, even if it is well-intentioned, even if it is correct, but because of my limitations as a human being, I am unaware, then Ya Allah, make my words, which may be perceived as an insult, which may be perceived as harmful, make it a source of forgiveness, purification, and closeness to you on the Day of Judgment. And that's subhanAllah, that's very beautiful. Why? Because Nabi ﷺ is acknowledging, I have been sent as rahmatan lil alameen. I have been sent as rahmatan lil alameen. But in my limitations as a human being, if ever I say something that may be perceived against my general mission statement of rahmah, then Ya Allah, I never intended that. And rather make that a means of that person's loftiness, and make that a means of that person getting closer to you. When I study the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, it's incidents like this that really explain to me how amazing of a human being he was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because we all understand that we have limitations. Nabi ﷺ, he acknowledged his limitations and he made dua to Allah that I will consciously be the best human being I can be. But if unconsciously I happen to stray away from that a little bit, and unconsciously, not with intention, then Ya Allah, make that also a means of rahmah for the people whom I interact with. So he was not only rahmatan lil alameen consciously, he was also rahmatan lil alameen even if he did not consciously do something, and he made that ahd with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is something we should also strive for. And what is that? In our interactions, when we're conscious and we do something, we're immediately trying our best to be our best. But if I've unconsciously did something, I should do two things. One, always be perceptive of those around me. If I've unconsciously hurt someone's feelings, said something inappropriate, did something out of the blue, then I should always put it upon myself that I will correct myself. And number two, I make dua all the time. This is a dua that we make. And this is, we learn from the sunnah as well. That we make dua that Allah forgive me for those things that I have done knowingly and those things that I have done unknowingly. Because as human beings, we're not fully aware of our surroundings. And there are many instances and circumstances where we have done things wrong without knowing. So one thing is we ask Allah for forgiveness for everything we've done to Allah or against Allah, openly in closed doors, but even in our normal interactions. So every once in a while, if I'm speaking to my spouse, my children, my parents, those closest to me, it just takes a moment by the end of the year or any special occasion, يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَلَكُمْ. I shake their hands or I embrace them and I say, may Allah forgive me and may Allah forgive you. Please pardon me for anything I have done that I may not even be aware of. Because to ask forgiveness for what I know is easy. You know what? I spoke wrong to that person. I raised my voice to someone who is senior to me. I was being offensive. I can ask forgiveness for these things. But to ask for forgiveness for those things which I don't know is the most important. Because on Yawm al-Qiyamah, I can anticipate what I have done and I'm aware of, but I will not anticipate what I have done and I was unaware of. So we should always have a sense of seeking forgiveness from one another, from what we were aware of and what we were not aware of. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautify our character and conduct. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for what we have done knowingly, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for doing what we have done unknowingly. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khairan, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.